Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We are your hosts, Leah and Michelle. I'm gonna get it. She's so bossy. Today is the 7th of February, 2018. I don't know about you guys, but when Leah, I had been busy all day, and Leah's like, so there's been new text messages that have come out between Strzok and Page, and I was like, are they any good? And she's like, oh yeah, they're good. And they are. So you guys are in for a treat. Even bad. Trump says that the texts that have come out are bombshell. We don't have any volume.
Where's that volume?
I'm getting it.
So professional here.
We try.
We try. We do try. Say when.
When?
This is a Fox News alert. A lot of late-breaking developments tonight on that memo at the House Intelligence Committee. Now, Republicans are responding to the Democrats' claim a little over an hour ago that they did not get the chance to review the latest memo sent to the White House, that it was tweaked and substantively changed before it went to the White House. So we've been talking about this memo. It reportedly involves surveillance of the Trump campaign. Here's what we're hearing tonight from a committee spokesperson. Quote, the committee minority is now complaining about minor edits to the memo, including grammatical fixes and 2 edits requested by the FBI and by the minority.
This might not be the video I wanted to play. I don't know why this video is, maybe this isn't the video I wanted to play.
Oh.
Maybe they went to the next video. But the FBI's Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, they said, now, here's the right video. I'm sorry.
This is a Fox News thing. Chief of Staff John Kelly has said...
Where's the right video? Well, okay, I'll just have to tell you myself. Forget them.
Forget Fox News.
Yeah, sometimes we have glitches ourselves.
If you guys wanted Fox News, you'd be watching it.
All right. These text messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page include an exchange about preparing talking points for Director Comey, who was FBI director then, to give to President Obama, who, quote, wanted to know everything. Now, why is this important? Because we have this interview here with Chris Wallace where he says, Obama says, I'm not involved in anything.
Carry out her duties. Mr. President, when you say what you've just said, when Josh Earnest said, as he did, your spokesman, in January, the information from the Justice Department is she's not a target, some people, I think, are worried whether or not the decision, whether or not how to handle the case will be made on political grounds, not legal grounds. Can you guarantee to the American people, can you direct the Justice Department to say Hillary Clinton will be treated as the evidence goes, she will not be in any way protected?
I can guarantee that. And I can guarantee that not because I give Attorney General Lynch a directive. That is institutionally how we have always operated.
No, not really.
I do not talk to the Attorney General about pending investigations. I do not talk to FBI directors about pending investigations.
I do not talk to FBI directors about pending investigations. However, we have a text message going back where Page says to Strzok, Obama wants to know everything.
Now, did it say Obama or did it say POTUS? Not that it matters. I was just curious. POTUS. It says POTUS. That means
we have
Obama.
A strict line and always have maintained it. Previous presidents.
Just to button this up,
it was a strict line. I guarantee it.
I guarantee that there is no political influence in any investigation conducted by the Justice Department or the FBI. He is such a good liar. Not just in this case, but in any case.
And she will
full stop. Period.
And she will be treated no differently.
Guaranteed. Full stop. Nobody gets treated differently when it comes to the Justice Department because nobody is above the law.
Even if she ends up as the Democratic number.
How many times do I have to say it, Chris?
Because we don't believe you. Because you're a liar in chief.
Liar.
You're okay.
So, okay, I was, just for fun, I was reminded of, I don't know if you guys saw the new Indiana Jones movie, but I want to pull up this clip just because I can, and it's hilarious. I don't know if you guys remember seeing this, but there's a scene where she literally starts going like, I want to know everything. So here, I hope this is the right clip.
What the hell is that?
Like, there's these secrets, and she wants to know. And this is exactly what it reminds me of.
I want to know.
I'm sorry. Okay, that's it. That's all you get. But seriously,
That's really funny.
I want to know. I want that. And the idea that he could sit there and let me switch back scenes here. That he could sit there and say, no, I don't ever deal. You're the president of the United States. You want to know. Tell me. You don't just sit there and be like, you know what? All is fair. Fair is fair. And you guys do your thing. And I'm the president and I don't need to know. No, you know you wanted to know. And now we have proof that you wanted to know, son.
Donald Trump says new FBI texts are bombshell. Yeah. Okay. So the message from Page to Strzok was among thousands of texts between the lovers, reviewed by Fox News. The pair both worked at one point for special counsel Robert Mueller's probe. Remember, of collusion between Trump and Russia, who he had also said there's no there. Page wrote to Strzok on September 2nd, 2016 about prepping Comey because POTUS wants to know everything we're doing. According to a newly released Senate report, this text raises questions about Obama's personal involvement in the Clinton email investigation. Mm-hmm. And texts previously revealed, Strzok and Page are shown their disdain for Republicans in general, as well as Trump calling him an effing idiot, among other insults. Among the newly disclosed texts, Strzok also calls Virginians who voted against the then FBI Director Andrew McCabe's wife for Senate seat ignorant hillbillies. That text came from Strzok to Page on November 4th, 2015, the day after Jill McCabe. They had a long-running affair, by the way. They're obviously really good at hiding it from their spouses, though, because
morally reprehensible. You start there. Your character is morally reprehensible, and that will seep out into every area of your life.
Right. The day after Jill McCabe lost a hotly contested Virginia state Senate election, Strzok cited the result. Disappointing, but look at the district map. Loudoun is being gentrified, but it's still largely ignorant hillbillies. Good for her for running. Then Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, among the majority staff from the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee, is releasing the text along with a report titled The Clinton Email Scandal and the FBI's Investigation of It. The newly uncovered texts reveal a bit more about the timing of the discovery of hundreds of thousands of emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop. Now get this. They discovered them a month before Comey came and told us.
What was he doing sitting on them?
So the hundreds of thousands of emails on former Congressman Anthony Weiner's laptop, ultimately leading to the Comey's infamous letter to Congress just days before the presidential election. On September 28th, and Hillary Clinton tweeted out a new book blaming Comey for her loss in the election.
Because you're so ready to throw anybody under the bus except for yourself, Hillary.
Strzok wrote to Page, called up to Andy McCabe's earlier, hundreds of thousands of emails turned over by Weiner's attorney to the Southern District of New York. It includes a ton of material from Huma Abedin. Sending team up tomorrow to review. This will never end.
Never.
According to the Senate report, this text message raises questions about when the FBI officials learned of the emails relevant to the Hillary Clinton email investigation on the laptop belonging to Weiner. It was a full month later, on October 28th, when Comey informed Congress that due to recent developments, the FBI was reopening the Clinton email investigation. But then they closed it real quick a week later. We're good. We're good. We went through them all.
In 1 week. 1 week. There is so much information here that it's going to take years for this to be gone through. And they closed it down in 1 week. That is indicative of somebody literally saying, just close that book. Shut the page.
In connection with an unrelated case, the FBI has learned of the existence of emails that appear to be pertinent to the investigation. I'm writing to inform you that the investigative team briefed me on this yesterday. Why would you? This is a lie. It's all a lie. They briefed me on this yesterday when they've had them for a month, and Strzok and Page say it's never going to end. Their emails, other people knew about these emails too. Right. So Comey had to know. A Weiner's laptop has Huma's emails on there.
Comey knew everything. What he was doing instead of actually working for the money that he gets paid by the U.S. government is he was spending his time trying to connive. How can hide all of this? It's like a master plan of just cover up, and that takes a lot of time.
They're all.
That's what he was spending his entire time doing.
Cover up over cover up over cover up. Like, is Hillary Clinton still tweeting out that it was Comey's fault? You know what I mean? Or is she playing it up to make it look like Comey? Is he really taking the fall on purpose? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
I don't think she's. It's absolutely insane because none of this lines up. Not one thing lines up. It's also insane. On election day, Strzok wrote, "OMG." Here's the thing. By the way, by these text messages, they're like 5th grade.
It's embarrassing how immature these people are. It just goes to show you that most people, I should say, in government positions are only there because of who they know, not because of their qualifications, because inside they are little teenagers that play video games and joke about farts.
I know. That's them. OMG. I would never put that. OMG, this is effing terrifying. Who says that?
Can we be a little bit more professional, even with our colleagues, or even if your colleague has turned a lover, you would think it wouldn't be reduced to childish.
And then Page responds, "OMG, I'm so depressed." Later that month, on November 13th, Page wrote, "I just bought all the president's men. Figure I need to brush up on Watergate," like how to frame the president, right? The next day, Page wrote, "God, being here makes me angry. Lots of highfalutin national security talk. Meanwhile, we have to ask. We have our. They put it big. Our task ahead of us. Their insurance policy. He's president. Now we have to go after. And I mean, this. It hurts my head to try to explain that this is what is happening.
I know.
The whole Russian collusion is framed, and you see it in the texts.
Yes.
Page's meaning is unclear. It's crepuscally clear.
So hang on, I want to take a pause here. I have just pulled up the Resistance Chicks Facebook Live page. I finally got around to getting there. It takes me a minute to tweet everything out. So I want to give a good welcome to our Facebook Live viewers who are here. I see all of your comments. So thank you for being here. I'm really glad that we're able to finally go to the Facebook platform in addition to YouTube simultaneously. I'm still excited about this. So welcome.
So coupled with Strzok's August 15th text about an insurance policy, further investigation is warranted. Duh. But who? This is where we get back to. Who is going? There is nobody left to investigate the investigators. You have the CIA. Jeff Sessions is the only guy. But he's AWOL, man.
Yeah.
He is AWOL. They have something on this guy. I don't know what, but he's AWOL. He is just gone. So the DOJ is compromised. The CIA is compromised. The FBI is compromised. We ain't got nobody left. I'm talking, we got to get some like New York police officers to investigate this.
Matlock is dead. Left. Angela Lansbury can't come back from Murder, She Wrote. There's no one. It's hopeless.
And then there's more emails here. I'm gonna hopefully I find them. The House Intelligence Committee, they're supposed to have oversight over all this stuff. But the FBI is stonewalling and won't give them information that is incriminating to them.
Right.
In another text message, I don't know if I have it up here.
It's really fascinating, though, because somebody had sent me a story. It was probably Justin, worth a look, about in the UK, or no, maybe it was right here in the States. Shoot, I'm going to get this totally wrong. But there was a student at a local university who was threatening to kill people, and a Muslim. I think he was a Muslim, and she reported it to the university, and the university told her that they were required by law, and it was their college's or university's policy to inform this person that she was the one that ratted him out by saying, "I'm going to kill these people." And she's like, and her dad was really upset. I need to find this article so we can share it with you guys. Maybe in the second half, we're going to take a hard break after this. But my point is, they're not giving this information to the accused, right? And yet in this situation, she could get raped or killed or whatever.
Right.
It's whatever fits their agenda at the moment.
We have seen Trey Gowdy and Nunes and all of these House Intelligence Committees. We've seen Senator Grassley. We've seen all these people trying to get information out of the FBI. You want to know why they're not getting it? You want to know why Clinton walked free? Because Obama, the Attorney General, the CIA, the FBI all conspired to try to make Clinton president. Covered up her classified email server. That is in the bag. Not only should she be in prison, who needs to be in prison, and all the people who set it up knowing that it was illegal. And the Wiener's only in prison because he texted some naked pictures. But he should be in prison also for having the classified emails on his laptop. Now listen to this. The FBI officials investigated Hillary Clinton's email server, Strzok and Page, wrote that House Speaker Paul Ryan is a jerk, that Senator Mitch McConnell looks like a turtle. That's funny. But this shows how immature they are.
Right.
And the Oversight Committee Chairman, Trey Gowdy, is a D-I-C-K. He's a male body part. And that newscaster Chris Wallace is a turd. They're so mature. Aren't you glad that they were in charge of investigating Hillary Clinton? As for former FBI Director Comey, James too blindly Boy Scoutish. Those comments come from 500 pages of text released Wednesday. In the text, Strzok and Page also wrote that Congress is contemptible. The Oversight Committee held a hearing September 12th about the classifications and redactions in the FBI's investigation file on the Clinton case. Jason Herring, acting assistant director for congressional affairs of the FBI, was there to provide answers while Page and Strzok watched. Page appeared to fault the chairman of the Oversight Committee for asking investigative questions and indicated that Herring was supposed to have a simple script for refusing to answer.
Exactly. So Kate Catanella on Facebook Live says the whole intelligence and justice departments are corrupt.
Absolutely. She says Gowdy is a total D-I-C-K. I don't like saying that word.
I'm not here. I want to go back to the word turd because that's a word we weren't allowed to cuss growing up, use swear words at all. We weren't even allowed to tell each other to shut up or to call each other stupid. But there were some words that I could kind of slip by with, and turd was one of them, except for my mom, Patriot Gallery. To this day, I'm 34 years old, and if I use that word, she just kind of is like, it's like epic disappointment on her face in who I have turned out to be. No, I'm just kidding.
All right,
she knows
so
I'm better than that. But that's the point. This is so childish.
So she says Gowdy is being a total all investigative questions, and Jason isn't always sticking. I think it means sticking, but she actually had a typo there. To the script on I'm not answering that. Gowdy is really starting to tick me off, she says. During the third presidential debate, October 20th, 2016, Strzok said, I am riled up. Trump is an effing idiot, is unable to provide a coherent answer. What the F happened to our country? Chris Wallace is a turd. Trump is a disaster. I have no idea how destabilizing his presence would be. Mitch McConnell always reminds me of a turtle, and Paul Ryan's a jerk. So,
Paul Ryan is a jerk.
Yeah, that's true.
So that one you're allowed to have. That actually is the most relevant part of the entire text. I mean, that's the one that I could agree with, that I would say to someone that person is a jerk. That is just, so they have that one right.
So remember, Obama promised in this interview with Chris Wallace on August 10th, 2016, I can guarantee you that because I can guarantee you I'm not involved. That's what he says. Now, there's more. This is deeper and deeper and deeper. New report suggests Strzok and Page gave updates on Clinton email investigation to Obama. Obama demanded to know everything about the Clinton email probe, despite pledging the American people he was not going to interfere in the ongoing investigation. This is from Sarah Carter. I love this woman. She needs a Nobel Peace Prize. I have no idea how we can thank her. But she has been the go-to person for Fusion GPS, Uranium One.
Right.
I don't know who she knows, but she knows. Senator Ron Johnson, the chairman, has said it released Wednesday. We went over that. And let's see. Where are we at? Page wrote on September 2nd, POTUS wants to know everything we're doing. She was referring to President Obama. Although sometimes cryptic and disjointed due to their nature, these text messages raise several questions about the FBI and its investigation of classified information on Clinton's private email. This is Representative Johnson from Wisconsin said. Strzok and Page discussed serving to protect the country from the menace of Trump enablers and the possibility of an insurance policy against the risk of Trump presidency. The report reiterates earlier obtained text messages from the FBI agents that they discussed Attorney General Loretta Lynch knowing that Secretary Clinton would not face charges before the FBI had interviewed Secretary Clinton and before her announcement that she would accept Director Comey's prosecution decision. Loretta Lynch, knowing that Secretary Clinton would not face charges before the FBI had interviewed her.
Wow.
The pair of agents also wrote about drafting talking points for Comey for Obama. The texts appear to contradict Obama's April 26 interview on Fox News Sunday. And he says, I do not talk to the Attorney General about pending investigations. We have a strict line and have always maintained that.
No, you haven't. You big fat liar.
And he also said that Clinton would never intentionally put America in any kind of jeopardy. What else? I can't even read his words. I just blah, blah, blah. Strzok and Page are at the center of this whole thing.
Donna Terry says, well, just to let you know, when they arrest Obama, hey, it could happen, there will be civil unrest, so be prepared. It will be worse than Baltimore, Maryland. And she adds, the fact that there is so much evidence, so much proof, and so many emails clearly shows the intellectual level of these people. It is very, very low.
I'm going to show this one again. New FBI text or bombshell. All right. And now we're going to move on. Former U.S. Attorney Joe DiGiovanno. Now we know that additional Clinton allies were involved in the transmission of false information, unverified information to the FBI through State Department officials. Somebody's going to have to go to prison. Now, Trey Gowdy, I got a clip with him. He says that it's hints at Sidney Blumenthal, who is a Clinton.
Breaking news tonight, another bombshell memo. This one released by the offices of Senator Chuck Grassley and Senator Lindsey Graham. In short, this newly unredacted document points to shocking coordination between that shady Oppo research firm, Fusion GPS, British intel operative Christopher Steele, and this is great, the Obama State Department and Clinton allies. Joining us now to analyze this breaking development, former U.S. Attorney Joe DeGeneva and Kimberly Strassel, a member of the Wall Street Journal editorial board.
I think that.
Joe, you've been saying for some time there could be criminal implication here for some of these major players at the FBI. What do we know now after this new memo has been redacted, unredacted?
The Grassley-Graham memo and letter establishes beyond any doubt that the FBI knowingly deceived the FISA court about the information that it was presenting to them, lied to them about the fact that it was verified information, which it was not, which the law requires, and now we know that additional Clinton allies, including Sidney Blumenthal, were involved in the transmission of false information, unverified information to the FBI through State Department officials. Somebody's going to have to go to prison.
Hopefully several somebodies.
This was funny. When they go low, we go spy. All right. Gowdy.
Everybody's been wondering what's going on with Gowdy because he's leaving.
Right. Republican Representative Trey Gowdy suggested on Fox News Tuesday evening that Hillary Clinton confidant Sidney Blumenthal is one domestic source for the infamous dossier alleging dangerous connections between Donald Trump and Russia. So let's just hear what Gowdy has.
To accuse someone of it.
So Chairman Nunes, who you worked with on this memo, has suggested that there's a lot more to come and that the investigation continues. It looks like the next place that you all are looking at is the State Department during the Obama administration. We know that there was a criminal referral that was made by Senators Graham and Grassley. In it, it includes this. The foreign source gave information to an unnamed associate of Hillary and Bill Clinton, who then gave information to an unnamed official in the Obama State Department, who then gave the information to Steele. What do you know about that?
Everything that there is to know about it, and I've known about it for over a month. If you go and read the documents at the Department of Justice, you see it. I'm troubled by it. It is one reason I have tremendous respect for Michael Horowitz, who's the Inspector General of the Department of Justice. It's one reason that I reject the notion that the IG himself alone can investigate the Department of Justice, because there is a State Department component to this. It needs to be investigated. I don't view the investigation in terms of stages. To me, it's just one continuous investigation in pursuit of all relevant facts leading towards the truth. I'm pretty troubled by what I read in the documents with respect to the role the State Department played in the fall of 2016, with including information that was used in a court proceeding. I am troubled by it.
So weeks before the election, somebody in the Obama State Department was feeding information from a foreign source to Christopher Steele.
When you hear who the source, or one of the sources of that information is, you're going to think, oh my gosh, I've heard that name somewhere before. Where could it possibly have been? And
the foreign source?
The domestic source, and I'm trying to think how Secretary Clinton defined him. I think she said he was an old friend who emailed her from time to time.
Sidney Blumenthal?
That'd be really warm, if you're warm.
Oh my gosh. I feel like, can we just take a minute? I feel like Gowdy is like not hiding something, but hiding something. There's something going on that we don't know about that is, it's kind of like a dog that usually goes out and just goes straight for the attack. And he's kind of been like, he's on a chain, like a long chain, but he's still on a chain. There's something just not quite right about, I feel like he's muzzled.
Of course he's muzzled.
More than before. I think there's something new there.
So the FBI didn't notice Clinton emails marked classified, wanted to shut down probe before others did. The FBI didn't flag some emails from Hillary Clinton's private email server, which were marked classified with a C when they sent when they were sent, something that seemingly would have been one of the first and most obvious checks in an investigation, and one the FBI agents instantly recognized put the facts at odds with Clinton's public statements. The Intelligence Community Inspector General noted it after the FBI missed it. Text between FBI Strzok and his mistress Page says, "Holy cow, if the FBI missed this, what else was missed? Remind me to tell you to flag for Andy redacted emails. Actually ICIG found that had portion mark C on a couple of paragraphs, I guess. DOJ was very concerned about this," he wrote. "Found on the 30,000 emails provided to state originally, no one noticed. It cuts against, I have never seen or received anything marked classified," he wrote, referring to statements by Clinton downplaying the danger of her email practices. So he says, we found them. They're marked C for classified.
And it goes against Hillary saying, I never received anything that was actually marked classified.
Much of the more in-depth investigation considered whether Clinton and her aides emailed materials that were classified but were not marked as such, as harder determination to make. This exchange occurred on June 12th, 2016. "Holy dog poop, Cruz just dropped out of the race. It's going to be Clinton-Trump race. Unbelievable." Strzok replied, "Now the pressure really starts to finish the MYE. The MYE stands for mid-year exam, a code name for the Clinton probe."
Wow.
We have to end this Clinton probe now. Are y'all with me?
We are with you.
Everything we see in their text messages, we have a insurance policy against Trump. We know that Loretta Lynch says that Clinton's going to be exonerated before she's even interviewed. They found more emails marked C, which goes against Clinton. She lied to the FBI.
Liar.
She needs to be in prison. Remember, Flynn was going to get 5 years in prison for misstating something to the FBI.
Right. Dale Jones says this is bigger than Watergate.
Oh my gosh. It's huge. Now on the pressure to really starts to finish the mid-year exam. The fact that they have a code name for the Clinton probe shows you how corrupt they are.
Yes.
Why would they need a code name for the Clinton probe?
And the fact that they're saying this has to stop, and it has to stop right now since Cruz dropped out of the race.
So back in May 2016, May 2016, after that, Strzok says he talked to Redacted, Banner Evening, concluded by saying, "I cannot overstate to you the sense of urgency about wanting to logically and effectively conclude this investigation. We have to make it look like we're doing things right. We have to hide these classified emails. We have to hide everything. This is Comey, the CIA, the top levels of the FBI. Rod Rosenstein is on this. Bruce Orr is on this. They're all working together to collude to try to get this email investigation shut down and try to start up an investigation against Donald Trump."
Let me tell you what has happened here.
Ah!
They have hooked us all into the Matrix with our iPhones and our iPads and our Androids and our laptops and us carrying computers so they can spy on us. You all know that this is true. They did it to spy on us. But unfortunately, the weapons that were built to use against us are now in our hands. They are in the hands of the alternative media. They are in the hands of you guys, the people. And where this would have been able to be pulled off 35 years ago ain't happening today, Jack. The FBI, I got news for you guys, and the CIA and Homeland Security and all of y'all people with acronyms. Okay.
So, by the way, these texts are just released today.
It's not going down. You can no longer pull the wool over the American people's eyes. What has been happening since 1908, the inception of the Federal Reserve, is they have been pulling, that's how they took us off the gold standard.
Right.
That's how they put us on, you know, the Social Security. That's how they did everything for the past 100 years, because they could keep the information from getting to the people. And and so I'm just saying, this is really exciting news. They're not going to be able to get away with this ever again anymore.
Did you guys know this? Clinton decided to print out 55,000 pages instead of providing the State Department with her emails in digital format. A technique sometimes used by lawyers to make searches harder for their opponents. A Control F search for just the C for marked classified could have missed the markings because state had to redigitize the forms with optical character recognition, which can get tripped up on symbols, perhaps interpreting it as something like C with other, like brackets, or a copyright symbol. Nonetheless, the classified marker always appears at the beginning of a paragraph and is usually distinct. So Clinton is, I'm going to be totally transparent. They had to take her printed off emails and then put them into a digital format. And they did this on purpose to trip people up so that you wouldn't find the C's.
Wow. That is a level of planned deceit that surpasses anything we've heard in a while. I mean, seriously. Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, this is an exciting time to be alive, because where Watergate happened and all of these corrupt things have happened in the past, and everybody was left without information. One of our viewers, Bill Burnett, sent us a letter and something in the mail we're going to get to probably in the second half. But Bill was alive when this was all happening without the digital. He was in it. He wasn't just alive. He was involved, okay, with the Kennedy assassinations and things like that, and Martin Luther King. And they knew it. They were red-pilled, but they didn't have access like we have access digitally. So this is really, really exciting that we are alive and stopping them in their tracks from doing the things that they would otherwise be trying to pull over.
Yeah, Daily Caller just updated their page. I'm trying to find Carter Page. I'm not going to be able to find it. Anyways, Carter Page was actually working for the FBI and working on Clinton's transition team as well. So that's the guy that was, here we go. Was Carter Page an undercover FBI informant? He shoots down speculation that he worked undercover for the FBI, never did anything of that variety, he told Daily Caller News. Page was interviewed by the FBI in 2013 about contacts with the covert Russian agent. A theory gaining traction about Carter Page in some quarters of the web is that the former Trump campaign advisor worked as an undercover FBI agent to try to help bust a Russian spy ring in New York City in 2013. The theory goes that Page, as an energy consultant, worked undercover for the FBI to bug a covert Kremlin agent, but Page dispelled the speculation on Tuesday, telling the Daily Caller never did anything of that variety. So maybe they just now updated this story because I just saw it. So we'll see. Carter Page is at the essence of what is going on here. Was he working for the FBI? Was he a Russian agent? Was he nobody? I don't know.
Patriot Gallery.
Well, they also said Trump should be president because he doesn't know anything about government. Well, I think all of us, we're going to have to humble ourselves and say we don't know anything about government. Our government was overtaken by corrupt criminals. Well, we know it was really gangsters. Gangsters took over the government, and greedy people. I mean, who else but a gangster would think, hey, let's take all their gold, we'll print money, and we can just print it. Whenever we run out, we'll print some more.
Living in a gangster's
They're not limit. They have no limit of evil that they can do with an unlimited budget.
To the evil they can do.
I mean, who else goes down to their basement, prints off money, and counterfeits it? Criminals. So our government's just a big criminal organization. And what we have to learn about government, I think, or learn from Trump, is like, let's say we went to war with Hitler. Well, first of all, you have to do all this propaganda, war propaganda, to say how bad he is, how terrible he is. Now we know Bush's were on both sides, and war should never happen. It was a banker's war. But still, if you're in a war, you have to let your people know who the bad guy is first.
Right.
Yep. And you got to tell what their war crimes are first.
Yes. Yep.
And then, let's say the war with England and George Washington, the generals in the other army have to surrender first. Then there'll be war tribes. We're all saying we're Sessions, we're Sessions. Well, the State Department's a huge thing, and I'm realizing that more and more. He's going after M13.
MS-13.
And he's going after other people with Homeland Department, Homeland Security. But anyways, I've been a boss. I've had 3 departments. I can't be over each department and doing their jobs for them. So don't expect Session to do all the job. Plus because it's his department that's so corrupted, you know, we've been under what they call a tyranny of the Justice Department. When they said no prayer in school, when they said no 10 Commandments, this is tyranny of the Justice Department. They're making laws. They have no right to make laws. Only Congress has right to make laws, and then the Justice Department must enforce those laws. Right. But the Justice Department decided they were going to be the executive branch and the Congress, and they were going to make the laws, and they were going to execute the laws that they want, and it's all done by these gangsters. It's all gangster run, and so Trump has to tell all the people and get all this information out because they have the voice. They have all the media. So Trump has to come out with facts over and over and over and over. Right. It's like beating everybody over the head because so when he does bring them down, we don't have civil war. Right. He's trying to avoid the civil war. So we are learning government now. And like I like to say, this is a business. This is a business. It's for profit. Everybody in this business of government is there for a profit. And what government isn't, government is a non-profit. So when we have a government with gold and silver, it's limited, and the people in the government are limited to be a charity, so they can't like make money. Like you can't get wealthy off the government. Like if you're president or congressman, you get $40,000 a year. You don't get big homes or mansions. And if you are hired by the government, let's say hired by the government, make a bridge. Well, then you're going to have to make the least amount of money because this is the people's money.
Right.
You can't
be frugal with it.
You have to be a ministry. It's called a ministry.
Called a public servant.
Yeah. And you don't make money off of government. Well, as long as it's incorporated and it can print as much money as you want, there's going to be greed and corruption. Once we get back to a government of a ministry and it's not incorporated, it's not a business, the government must be the oversight over businesses.
Right. So, you know, I have to agree with Patriot Gallery here because raise your hand if you're watching and you would... I know we have a lot of viewers that have a lot of experience doing different things. Most of us, at least I would be happy with a $50,000 a year job. It's way more than I can't even tell you, it's way more than what we make right now. I would be happy with that. I would also be happy to serve my country in some sort of office with that kind of income. I wouldn't ask for any kind of pension. I wouldn't ask to be, have health care for the rest of my life. I would be willing, I'm not the person for the job, trust me, maybe Leah, but I would be willing to do that. And there are so many people out there that would be willing to do this job and far more capable. But when you do it for a massive amount of money and power and corruption, and you can be bought off, a person that would take that job for a minuscule amount of money is not the type of person that's going to be able to be bought off. Right. These greedy people take the job for money, and that's why they're so easily bought off by these NASCAR logos, All
right. So Adam Schiff. He is the guy on the Intelligence Committee who's coming out with his own memo. He had an unhinged tweet today about it. But here's the thing. This is hilarious to me. So there are 2 Russian comedians who prank called his office to tell Adam Schiff that they had nude photos of Donald Trump with some sort of porn star. So Schiff is so obsessed that he is desperate for there to be any connection involving Trump and Russia that he fell for Russian pranksters claiming to have naked pictures of Donald Trump. Old Schiffy then told his staff to collect classified materials for the FBI. This is more humiliating than Twitter smacking down his claims Russian bots were pushing the release of the memo campaign online. Daily Mail reported the ranking Democrat on the House committee was the victim of a prank phone call by Russian comedians who offered to give him compromising dirt on Donald Trump. Daily Mail can disclose that after the prank, the staff engaged in correspondence with what they thought was a Ukrainian politician to try to obtain the classified material promised on the call. On an audio recording, the prank call posted online, Adam Schiff can be heard discussing the committee's Russian investigation and increasingly bizarre allegations about Trump with a man who claimed to be Andriy Paraby, the chairman of the Ukrainian parliament.
They pretended to be foreign people. I don't know if you said that already.
The call made a year ago was actually from two Russian comedians nicknamed Vovan and Lexus, who have become notorious for their phony calls to high-ranking American officials and celebrities, including Nikki Haley and Elton John.
But they actually they're Ukrainian, but they were pretending to be Russian, right?
No, they were Russians pretending to be a Ukrainian.
Okay, very good.
Schiff's office said that the congressman suspected that the call was bogus from the beginning and reported it to the authorities afterwards.
Yeah.
But in a recording of the 8-minute conversation, Schiff appeared to take the call seriously or at least play along convincingly. The emails from the Democrats' staff to the fake politician afterwards said that he found it provocative. So you can hear we'll play a little piece of it for you.
Hi, all right. I'm going to put Mr. Schiff on the phone, and then I guess are you going to transfer him to Mr. Karubi?
Yes, of course.
Great, thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Schiff. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you.
I know that you work for investigation regarding Trump and Russian government.
Yes.
We know some important information about it.
And that is documented as well in materials you want to provide to us?
Yes. Could I explain you where we are?
Yes, of course. But, again, I would just caution that our Russian friends may be listening to the conversation, so I wouldn't share anything over the phone that you don't want them to hear.
No, I don't think that it will impact on our investigation.
Yes. Well, please, go ahead then.
In November 2013, Mr. Trump visited Moscow. He visited competition Miss Universe, and there he met with the Russian journalist and celebrity Ksenia Sobchak.
I'm sorry, can you explain that again? While he was in Moscow in November 2013, he met with a journalist and...
Well, she's poor journalist, but anyway, she became famous because of Putin is her godfather.
Okay, Putin's godfather. Okay.
She also known as a person who provide girls for escort for oligarchs, and she met with Trump and she brought him our Russian girl, celebrity, Olga Buzova, who also known as a person with a strange reputation.
Olga, and how do you spell her name?
Olga Buzova.
Buzova. So
yes.
Olga Buzova is a friend of the reporter Sobchak?
Yes, she's a friend of a reporter, and I think the special agent of Russian Secret Service, Ksenia Sobchak.
That Sobchak is or Olga is?
No, Sobchak is Ksenia.
Okay, and so Buzova met with Trump in New York at some point after the 2013 Miss Universe
yes.
pageant.
Absolutely, and she got compromising materials on Trump after their short relations.
Okay, and what's the nature of the compromise?
Well, there were pictures of naked Trump.
I can't, it hurts my head.
Okay.
He's writing it down.
And so Putin was made aware of the availability of the compromising material?
Yes, of course. Buzova shared those materials with Sobchak, and Sobchak shares those materials with Putin because she's a goddaughter of Putin, and Putin decided to press on Trump.
Oh my gosh.
And the materials that you can provide to the committee or to the FBI, would they corroborate this allegation?
Sure, of course. When they were in Ukraine, we got...
Okay, you guys get the idea. Oh my gosh, it hurts me. Like, it's painful to actually listen to that.
Oh, man. But here's the thing. Donald Trump Jr. was being investigated because he met with a woman to try to get opposition research on Clinton.
And here we have Schiff. I don't care if he comes out later and says, "Oh, I knew that why didn't Donald Trump Jr. come out later and say, "Well, I knew that it was kind of..."
He did. He said it felt weird, so we just up and left.
But they haven't let that bone go now, have they?
No, they haven't.
I mean, seriously, Schiff. Wow. Oh, yeah. But this guy just looks like such a dolt. I mean, it's embarrassing.
That's a good word, dolt.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
that
so
was really great.
Wrapping this up, I want to bring you guys this. Right now, we've got some. Where is my article on it?
I'm still laughing. I'm sorry.
All
Scotty
right.
says Schiff is a scumbag. I like that one too.
Turkey has invaded Syria. They're taking out a bunch of Kurds. Now the problem is that at this point now they're fighting people that
sounds like a food fight.
It is
Kurds in way, Turkey.
At this point, they're fighting the Free Syrian Army, which we set up,
right?
And they're all just a mess.
Just because we set them up doesn't mean they're good.
And
they're not.
One of the I don't know. It's all a mess. Let me just read you the article, because then a Free Syrian Army guy, he actually sees the Kurds, then there's a Free Syrian Army, and then there's Turkey, and they're all just a mess. It's just a mess, okay? There's a bunch of people fighting each other, okay? Because there was a guy they captured a Kurd, a Kurd, and the Free Syrian Army did. And they tortured her. And they took a video of them cutting off her and beating her, all of her female parts. And the Free Syrian Army said, that's not us. We'll investigate that.
Stop it.
I know. I think I posted that on my Facebook. All right. While Turkey was invading Syria, it was also invading the Super Bowl, which is very funny to me. One of the stranger aspects of the Super Bowl broadcast on Sunday was the Turkish Airlines sign on the NBC sports desk during the pregame show. Right there. Turkish Airlines.
I'm sorry.
What? What?
That's hilarious.
Can't get over the random of a sponsor of Turkish Airlines is for NBC's pregame show. What the heck is NBC, America's greatest sporting event, and you have Turkish Airlines as a sponsor on your pregame desk? NBC also ran a commercial for Turkish Airlines starring television celebrity surgeon Dr. Oz. The ad, like previous year's Turkish Airlines Super Bowl ads, was an advertising work of art. It was brilliantly written and beautifully produced. It's hard to imagine the average viewer for anything but attracted for Turkey after it. You go there, man. Here's the thing.
This kind of reminds me of funding laundering. Like, okay, we didn't give money to this. We just paid for advertising. If it were to come back.
The Turkish government owns 49% of the airline. Okay? Erdogan just jailed, I want to say, it was between 300 or 400 people for posting on social media they were against their new invasion of Syria. Just, oh, you don't like our invasion of Syria? Pack your bags. Forget your bags. You're going to prison. They already jailed journalists. Anything that you say against us. And for our NFL to see that this regime, you might as well just had North Korea Airlines up there or something like that.
No, that would have been too much.
To the contrary, let's see.
Erdogan is not just a dictator. Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, he's a dictator, but he is a psychopath. He is a maniac. Seriously, this is equal to North Korea.
Remember when Donald Trump made Jerusalem, to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel? Well, since then, see, you know how I know it's a good thing? Because it messes this man up. This man is evil. We're watching him develop an Islamic State right before our eyes.
Yes.
So Erdogan hosted a conference of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in December to criticize the U.S. and was an outspoken advocate of the UN General Assembly's resolution to condemn the American move. Last Tuesday, Turkey's Directorate of Religious Affairs held an American bashing conference in Istanbul. As John Rosimino reported for the Investigative Project on Terrorism, on Monday, the U.S. deported one of the speakers at the conference in 2015 after he served his prison term for funding the Palestinian Islamic Jihadi terror group. Al-Arin operated in the U.S. from the 1990s, 2006, so he was just released from prison, blah, blah, blah. And so I want to get to the part where Turkey is invading Syria. There's so much on this. Bring up your RT. Yeah, bring up your RT article. Oh, yeah. Remember this? When Erdogan told the Turks in Europe, go live in better neighborhoods, drive the best cars, live in the best houses, make not 3 but 5 children, because you are the future of Europe. That will be the best response to injustices against you. Invade Europe. Muslims. Invade Europe. Take it over. European defiance of Turkey didn't last long. Erdogan has cultivated Turkish expatriate communities as a means to influence the domestic policy of Europe. In 2011, Erdogan used Germany's Turkish community not to assimilate into German, urged Germany's Turkish community not to assimilate into German society. Erdogan says, yes, integrate yourselves in German society, but don't assimilate yourselves. No one has the right to deprive us of our culture and our identity, our Muslim culture and our identity. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so let's go here. The U.S.-led coalition has carried out several defensive airstrikes on Syrian forces in retaliation for what they called an unprovoked attack on the so-called Syrian Democratic Forces, the SDF, and foreign military advisors. Quote, in defense of coalition and partner forces, the coalition conducted strikes against attacking forces to repel the act of aggression against partners engaged in the global coalition's defeat. Daesh, Islamic State, formerly
This is
ISIS
like everybody, like, I'm going to grab a gun, you grab a gun. We're going to pretend that we're fighting Al-Qaeda and ISIS, but we're just fighting for our own selves.
True. So says the Central Command in a press release. The retaliatory attack was carried out after Syrian pro-regime forces initiated an unprovoked attack against well-established Syrian Democratic Forces headquarters, the coalition claimed. The U.S.-led coalition has also firmly stressed its non-negotiable right to act in self-defense since its service members are embedded with the partners on ground in Syria. The confrontation reportedly took place some 8 kilometers east of the Euphrates River deconfliction line. There were no immediate reports of casualties on either side. Wednesday's incident is the latest of its kind involving the U.S.-supported rebels and Syrian government forces. Washington remains under the impression that the coalition Air Force and its partners are allowed to operate east of the Euphrates, while the Syrian forces should remain west of the imaginary demarcation line. Damascus has repeatedly stated that the U.S. coalition presence on its soil is an act of aggression and a violation of the country's sovereignty. The Russian and Syrian air forces are the only ones officially allowed to operate in Syria. In fact, the government of Syria has repeatedly asked the United Nations to urge the U.S. to leave, particularly following the virtual defeat of Islamic State terrorist group. However, U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has instead promised the U.S. troops will remain in Syria indefinitely to counter Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and Iran's influence in the region. The U.S. coalition also mulled creating a 30,000 strong border force to secure control of the territory held by their partners in Syria. Since the force would include the Kurdish-dominated SDF alliance, the idea triggered a strong backlash from Turkey, forcing Ankara to initiate Operation Olive Branch to secure a buffer safe zone in Syria. Washington seems to have departed from its publicly stated goal of fighting Islamic State and is ready to partition Syria. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov warned earlier on Wednesday, it's very likely that the Americans have taken a course of dividing the country. They just gave up their assurances given to us that the only goal of their presence in Syria without an invasion of the legitimate government was to defeat Islamic State and the terrorists. Now they are saying that they will keep their presence till they make sure a steady process of political settlement in Syria starts, which will result in regime change, the minister said during the conference.
So Turkish forces shelled a primary school and water plant in Syria's northern Afrin region. Syrian Kurdish fighters in Syrian state media said on Wednesday a Turkish military source denied the allegations, but it really did. And I want to play for you. This is from a U.S. State Department on the U.S. is deeply troubled by the detention of human rights defenders, journalists, civil society leaders, and the opposition politicians in Turkey. So let's play that.
We'd like to say that the United States is deeply troubled by the February 1 rearrest by Turkish authorities of the Amnesty International Turkey chairman Taner Kilic. He's been in pretrial detention since June of 2017. We're closely following his case along with those against other respected human rights defenders, journalists, civil society leaders, and opposition politicians whose ongoing prosecution under the state of emergency has chilled freedom of expression and raises serious concerns about respect for judicial independence and the due process protections enshrined in the Turkish constitution. We call on the Turkish government to end the protracted state of emergency, to release those detained arbitrarily under the emergency authorities, and to safeguard the rule of law consistent with Turkey's own domestic and international obligations and commitments.
So actually, they're not going to listen to us, but still. So what's going on in Syria? It is pretty cut and dry. People wondering what's going on. We've studied this extensively. Syria was invaded. And John McCain and Obama and the Clinton department wanted to take Syria and wanted a regime change and get Assad out. I'm not saying Assad is a saint.
No.
However, before this regime change idea, Syria was actually a pretty healthy country. They had more freedom of movement. They had Muslims celebrated Christmas with Christians. It wasn't a bad place. It was actually a safe place, and they had a very they had a good income. They had a good quality of life.
Almost a utopia of sorts, as far as
a Muslim majority country
coming together with religions. We want tolerance all the time. The left is touting tolerance. It was
like Lebanon used to be before the 70s.
You can be a Christian. All right, I'm a Muslim. You can be whatever. I don't care.
Right. In the 70s,
I will support you.
Palestinians came in and worked with other Muslims who were there in Lebanon and turned them against Christians, and it became this real big mess. So you had this real big mess, and Russia was asked to come help Syria, and of course there's pipelines involved. And then Obama and McCain, they funded basically ISIS. The Free Syrian Army is not, they're not good people.
No.
And they wanted to use, every time you pay a Muslim and give them bullets and guns, it's probably not going to end well. Just not going to end well. There's so many factions and so many fractions in this country, but Assad needs his country back, and that's the bottom line.
You know, it's so funny to me that even in the UK, you guys aren't allowed to have weapons much. Here in the United States, everybody's touting for, you know, more gun restrictions and stuff like that. But we are so happy at the drop of a hat to land RPGs in the hands of these foreign people.
And train them.
And we don't even know their motivations.
What's going to happen to that gun afterwards, right?
Exactly. I mean, this is the most ridiculous, absurd thing.
There are people in America who make arms, and they need to, and the only way they make money is through war.
True. Absolutely. So my Patriot Gallery brought out a note. The second half, I'm not really sure of. The first half, I think, has to do with what was going on in the chat a little bit earlier. She says the biggest crypto is the dollar bill. It's all digital, y'all. So
yeah,
everybody's saying crypto's going to fall, crypto's going to crash. Well, yeah, it is, and the dollar bill is part of that. Dollar bills, y'all. Like, it's going down.
Dollar bill.
Then she has Slippery When Wet, who is in the chat today. She says, Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go spy, we go lower.
That's funny.
So you got to go underground, I think, sometimes. So
we are going to move on.
Comedians in the chat, they're really funny.
We got
I
get it.
That was Slippery When Wet.
We have
when they go low, we go lower, and we spy on them.
I get it.
That was Michelle Obama.
I get it.
I don't know if you want to do a break and come back.
Why not?
I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about craziness of this Islamic tweet in the UK. We're going to talk about Justin Trudeau, and actually that's going to be the title of we're going to break and come back because this is kind of we're going to flow a bit.
Why do we take the breaks? We take the breaks because sometimes the hour-long videos are a little bit easier to have one topic covered. People can click on it and just watch that, and then for our news roundup, that can be something else. So this particular topic that we covered, you guys know we needed a full hour for that, but the rest of this stuff can be more condensed. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring that bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We love you. God loves you. God bless. Thanks to our moderators who were here tonight. Gary Worth a Look, Donna, Maya, Sooks. So we love you guys. Don't forget, we have a P.O. Box. I think in the second segment, we'll get to 2 mail calls. P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio, 45150. If you want to drop us a line in the mail, we will read it on air. So, all right, we will see you back in 5 minutes, y'all. Oh, and the ending. That's right. I need to put that in here. Wait, just kidding.
Justin Trudeau.